Hey guys, welcome back. This is Pamela with Pamela's Tarot Tales. I'm here for day 2 of 31 Days of Tarot 2019 by Ethony. And today the prompt is your top 5 tarot decks purchased or released or released in 2018. So here we go. So I want to mention a couple like runner-ups, and I know this is kind of cheating, but I got this deck in December of last year, and it was towards the end of December. It was like probably Christmas or right before or the middle of December. So I didn't have much time to work with it, but I did throughout the year. And so this is definitely one of my all-time favorite decks. This is the Corte Dei Tarocchi, and it is a pip deck. And I've got quite a few videos using this. So I wanted to go ahead and mention it, even though technically I did not purchase this one in 2019 or 2018, but I used it quite a bit and it's definitely one of my favorites. So we're going to go with that. That is definitely one of them. Another one while we're on. This is the Marshmallow Marseille, and I did get this one in 2018. Oopsie. So this one is pretty awesome, and I've been working with it some, but I want to work with it more. But I do really like this deck, so it's definitely one of my top. I like the colors. I like the size. I still have to redo my bag a little bit, but that's that. Okay. 5, 4. Okay. Another one is this is the Darkness of Light Tarot. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith based deck, and it is really beautiful. And it's one that I've been, I decided to get a Rider-Waite-Smith more traditional deck. So I got Pam's Vintage, and I've been studying it with this one to help because I connect better with this one than any other of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smiths. And so I wanted a tarot deck to study with for the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I got the Pam's Vintage, but I don't like the artwork of the traditional deck particularly, but I can handle Pam's Vintage, but I really like this. So this is a good way to really connect with that, but still not inhibiting my intuition. And I find that that's a good thing. And I really, really like this color scheme. I like that it's a little bit more kind of a wintry, darker in color deck, but a good all-around reader. So I got that copy as one of their as-is copies, and it's flawless. It's pretty awesome. So that is that. So another one that came to me this year was that I consider a top deck is the Star Tarot for me. And this one surprised me. It's not one that I had planned to go out and buy. It's not one that I thought I'd ever necessarily be attracted to. And this is a trimmed copy. So I have a video on 2 different ways that I have this trimmed. I trimmed one copy that I'd gifted to a friend, and this is the copy that was gifted to me in full trim. So I really like this deck, and I've worked with it a good bit. And other than the crappy cardstock, it's pretty cool. I really enjoy the colors, the brightness. I enjoy, reading it intuitively. It is a little bit different, but I really like it. There's some definitely similarities, and but it's a great deck. So I enjoyed that. And sometimes I'm not typically one to be drawn to bright color, but I really like the color schemes in this. I really like how it reads for me. So yeah, it's a good deck. And that was a surprise. That was a total surprise. And that was a gift from Sacred Heart Tarot. Thank you, Maria. All right. Hopefully those won't come crashing down on my head. All right. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Well, we're doing more than 5, so whatever. The next one is the Brady Tarot. I haven't had this very long. I got this, I think, in November, maybe October. But it's definitely one that I would consider a top deck of this year. It was released this year, and it's one that I feel like, for me, it's a little slower getting to know, but sorry, it's upside down. No, it's not. But I feel like this deck will be a deck that I will use for a very, very long time. I feel like this is a forever deck for me. And I love animals. I like animal decks, but they have to be done very well. And some of them I find I don't enjoy, but this one I really, really enjoy. It's very well thought out. There's a lot of symbolism in here. There's a lot of meanings. Even the borders have, color associations. So it's really just a brilliant deck, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I, as an artist, really respond to that. So it's one that I'm getting to know, and I definitely plan to work with a lot more in 2019. But I had to mention it because I think it's one of the, it's a brilliant deck. All right. So what did I do with the lid? All right. So the next one is, we'll put that up after the video. The next one is, there's a couple I'm just going to mention because they were new to me this year. This one came at the very end of December, so I will be talking about it probably next year for 31 Days of Tarot, because I haven't started working with it until January, but I am excited to see where that comes. That's the Starchild Tarot. And then the Dark Days Tarot, I did not spend a lot of time with it, but I think it's a really beautiful deck. It's something that when I do read with it, it's very poignant, and I'm looking forward to that. But I wouldn't say I was necessarily, it's a top deck as in it's a great deck, but it's not a top deck that I used yet. So this is my last one I'm going to show, is the Tarot Vieville. Jaques Vieville. This is a bag that I made for it. This is a pip deck, or Marseille deck actually, it's quirky, and the sequencing is different, but I love this deck. This is probably the deck that I ended up using the most this year consistently. I got it at the beginning of the year, and I consistently was using it throughout the year. And when I would be like, oh, I'm not using that deck, I would pull it out, and I'd be like, this deck is amazing. It just clicks for me. It's just one that I really enjoy. So I love the colors. I love the quirkiness. I love, so many things about this. I like the cardstock. I like the size of it. I like, it just fits. It just works for me. And so this is one that really makes reading Marseille for me fun and easy, and and like I said, it's quirky, because this is actually the right way up for the, the hangman's not this way, it's actually this way for this deck, which is really interesting. And I'm sure there's stories behind that, but that is probably my most used deck, and it was new to me, and it's not new by any means, but it's definitely probably the deck out of all of my decks that I used the most. So, and I think it's one that I will continue to use consistently in 2019. All right, so that's more than 5. Sorry, not sorry. This is Pamela with Pamela's Tarot Tales, and I'll see you in a bit.